Hi, welcome to the Secret Diary of a Nail Tech podcast. I'm Dorina, and in this first episode, I'm going to take you on a journey into my life, into my work, into my head, into my thoughts, so we can set the tone for this podcast. In this season, 2024, spring and summer, there will be 10 episodes starting on the 15th of May, and I'm going to launch an episode every Wednesday morning, so make sure that you're tuning in. So let's get it started. Dear Diary. As I said, I'm Dorina. I'm a nail tech and educator for 13 plus years. I have been self-employed ever since, and I'm working in my salon and in my academy all by myself. And when you start a career, when you start this self-employment journey, people often tell you to find your niche, aka, please be kind and put yourself into a box. And I'm like, okay, let's find our niche. Like let's find our box. And I'm like, okay, but it's not that easy. Like, is there like a storage room kind of place where I could just go in and, like look through all these boxes and, like to find the one? And what if I need more than one box? What if I need multiple boxes? Because yes, I'm a nail tech. Yes, I'm an educator for beginners and for beginners only. But I'm so much more than a nail tech and an educator. Like, I'm super passionate about helping and inspiring others. I am super passionate about manifestation, self-image, self-development. I'm super passionate about, like healthy choices, aging gracefully, so many things. Like, how many boxes can I choose? In my opinion, manifestation, visualization, self-image, self-development is essential for self-employed people, because manifestation and visualization is the stage where you actually have to see things what you cannot touch with your hands just yet, and you have to believe with your self-image. You have to see yourself as the nail technician or whatever your chosen profession is. You have to see yourself as the person everybody wants, that you have a fully booked calendar and people are waiting for you on your waiting list. And self-improvement and self-development is also essential because you are going to grow. Your roles are going to change. Your responsibilities will change. And you have to do this inner work because you need to stay grounded. You need to stay true to yourself and to your vision. And you have to do the work inside as well. And then all this manifestation and visualization are going to come to fruition, and you are going to become that person who is fully booked and busy and living the life of your desire. So I have started my self-development journey with Tony Robbins in 2018 in London on his Unleash the Power Within seminar. And holy fuck. Oh, one more thing. Hi, I'm Dorina. I'm a 40-year-old woman who is quite comfortable using the word fuck. So if you are offended, sorry, I'm not sorry. You do you, I do me, and me occasionally likes to use the word fuck. So let's move back to London and Tony Robbins. So if you don't know Tony Robbins, Google him. You can learn a lot from him. There is a Netflix documentary about him. He's fantastic. So back to London. It's day one, and I hear for the very first time in my life the song Life from Hathaway. Life will never be the same. Life is changing. Oh my God. This song became my mantra, and life hasn't been the same since. So on the first day, we were getting ready for the FIREWALK. Yes, for the FIREWALK. We were learning a lot, like all day, about our mindset and how we can control certain outcomes with our mindset. And the FIREWALK is perfect for it because, like if you tune in with your realistic mind, like, oh my God, like what we were learning growing up from our parents. Like, don't touch the hot thing because you're going to burn yourself. So when somebody tells you to walk on burning hot coal, this is what your logical mind would think. Like, oh my God, I'm going to burn myself. Like, we had to make a decision whether we are going into this fear and worry that, like, oh my God, am I going to burn myself? And like, even myself, after learning about it all day, I had so many doubtful thoughts in my head that, what if I'm going to burn myself? How am I going to put my shoes on? How am I going to complete the rest of the 3 days? Do I have to go to hospital? Oh my God, does my insurance cover here in the UK? Oh my, how am I going to go back to Dublin? How am I going to... Like, you can actually feel that this is not a nice feeling. This is, like worry and scarcity and, like all this fear, and it's not a good feeling. But with our newly found mindset, we actually have the choice to think differently. We can choose to focus on the ecstatic feeling when you actually walked through this fire walk, and then you are on the other end, and then you are jumping and screaming, and you are so proud of yourself. Like, you can feel this energy in your spine and on your skin, and like, I have goosebumps everywhere, and you can just feel this amazing energy that you want to just scream from the top of your lungs that I fucking did it, and you are so proud of yourself, and you are ecstatic, and you have experienced something so new that it basically, like, you walked through the fire like Dorothy walks on the yellow brick road, right out of your comfort zone. And it is ecstatic. As Tony Robbins said multiple times that day, that it's always the first step that it's the hardest. And when you make this first step, then there is no way back. And there is no time to think. I mean, in that scenario, you are actually standing on burning hot coal. So, yeah, don't think, just fucking go. Because, the obvious. But it's the same in life, in everything. Like, when you try a new career, when you open up for the very first time in your relationship, when you move to a different country, when you start a new hobby, it's always scary, and it's always the first step is the hardest because of the unknown. I remember how much doubt I had while I was in line, but then I started to complain. I mean, just for myself and from my friend that I was with. And I was like, you know what? There were like so many people. Like, you have to imagine that there were like many of these fire walks set up. But there were 17,000 or 13,000 people from 60-something countries. There was a lot of people all waiting to walk through burning hot coal because of the dude. Like, insane experience. And so anyway, I was queuing up, and I was like, you know what? Like, that coal is going to probably cool off by the time I get there. Like, this is not fair. Like, I want to experience this whole thing, and I want to challenge myself, and So, when I was turning line, remember, be careful what you wish for. So, I was turning line, and I saw that they wheel in this big, whatever thing of burning hot coal. It was 11 p.m. in London in April, I think, so it was pitch dark. So all you saw is these orange rocks, like being thrown on that firewalk thing, and like the orange sparks like went everywhere. I was like, the universe just answered my, complaint. You wanted to challenge yourself, bitch. You wanted to experience the whole thing. Be my guest. I'm not gonna lie, I was shitting myself. At that point, I wasn't sure if I'm going to be able to walk through that thing. And when I was next in line, there are lots of people who are, like helping, and they are trained to actually spot, like with your face and with your body language that you are maybe not in the right mindset. And this guy just straight away like blocked my way. And he started to asking me, are you ready? Are you ready? And as I was saying, Yeah. Very convincing, huh? So as I was saying, yeah, you know, he kind of started to raise his voice at me, and at the end he was like literally like yelling at me, "Are you ready?" And because I was like so pissed at him, it put me back to this mindset like, don't tell me that I can't do it. Don't question me if I'm ready. I am fucking ready. And he smiled at me and he was like, "Now you're ready." I was like, "Oh." So they know what they're doing. So I walked through, and I will never forget that feeling. Obviously, I didn't burn myself. And I may or may not jumped into the person on the other side's neck. I think they are trained for that. Like there is like 17,000 people. They kind of expect all sorts of, like outburst of happiness. But before it happened, like when the guy was kind of, like asking me if I'm ready, I knew that I had two options. Option A, chicken out and stay in the safe side, and regret it for the rest of my life. Or pull my shit together and basically walk through that fire pit or firewalk or whatever it's called, like Dorothy walks on the yellow brick road, right out of my comfort zone. Because whether if I make it, or if I'm going to burn my feet because I am that stupid to walk on burning hot coal, I'm going to experience something that I have never experienced before. And when I made that decision, that's scary, because it scares our ego, because the ego doesn't like to go out of our comfort zone, because the comfort zone is just nice. Nothing changes there. Everything is familiar. Nothing grows there. But that's not life. That's not fucking life, or it shouldn't be. We have to get out of our comfort zone if we want to grow and if we want to experience and experiment with new things. If you want a new career, you have to change your job. If you want your relationship to work better, you have to change the dynamic of this relationship, and you have to learn how to communicate better with your partner. If you want to move to a different country, you have to change your entire life settings. My other mentor, the late Bob Proctor, said, change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. And I loved this so much, and it taught me to be grateful for every single lessons. And it's very important that you are being grateful for every single lessons, because not every lesson is going to be a positive one. It's not going to be an enjoyable one. Like, change is not necessarily always positive. Like, there can be changes that you're not going to enjoy. When you lose a job, when you break up a relationship, when you are still in love with someone, or just when you make bad decisions and you have to pay the consequences. But these changes are also lessons, and we do have to appreciate them. I have noticed that some people, they like to put their pink glasses on and just call it a positive attitude, when you just ignore the problem like it doesn't exist. I'm not dealing with it. I'm just, okay, that's not positive. It's just, I'm not going to deal with it because I'm a positive person. No, you're fucking not. And life is not like that. Like, just because you don't look at the problem, it doesn't mean that the problem is not there. I have recently just learned that, sometimes you have to sink in to these negative feelings. Like, you have to feel the hurt. You have to feel the disappointment in yourself or in another person. You have to feel all these negative stuff, because they are teaching us also. You can't just feel the good things and the pleasant things all the time. I have spent weeks in pain due to some personal journey that I had to take. I was pushed into taking it. So I was completing a 12-week no sweets, no alcohol challenge at the time. And yeah, it sounded good when I started. But when shit hit the fan, all I wanted is to get absolutely shit-faced drunk to numb the pain. Because this is what we do. We numb the pain so we don't have to deal with it. And we do it until we can come up with some bullshit excuse that will kind of make us feel somewhat better, so we are not going to have to deal with the initial problem. Yeah, that's not how it's done. But I didn't get shit-faced. I did not break my 12 weeks challenge. Instead, I decided to live through this pain. The hurt, the heartache, the disappointment in myself. I took a really long and hard look in the mirror, and I uncovered everything that I didn't like in myself, that I wish I had done differently. And there was a lot of things that I knew from before that I was supposed to work on. But, it's not comfortable, so we just sweep it under the rug and, we hope for the best. This time, it was time to feel the hurt. It was time to go really, really deep. And you know what? When you go super, super, super low, this is when you are actually going to build the best relationship with yourself. Now, was it pleasant? Fuck no. It was so painful, and it made time go so fucking slow. All I wanted to sleep. I literally spent 2 weeks in bed. For some reason, the universe, I got lots of cancellations. I got lots of people who reschedule their appointments. I had 2/3 clients a day. So I was in bed until 11 o'clock in the morning. I was back in bed by 5 o'clock in the evening. I was sleeping so much. Insane. And I was thinking. And I was working on myself. And I was meditating. And I was doing lots of, self-discovery. Did I enjoy the lesson? No, absolutely not. But when there is a lesson, we have to learn. And you know what? When actually there is a lesson that you have to learn and it hurts so freaking much that you want to give up because you just can't take it anymore. And then you still, even though you hated the lesson, you absolutely hated the experience, but you can still remain grateful for what it taught you. Now, that's what I call positive attitude. Ignoring the problem, not so much. But if you have a lesson that you almost died of because it's so stressful, hurtful, painful, whatever, and you come out on the other end and you manage to say that, you know what? I'm fucking grateful for this lesson because God, I learned. Now, that's what I call, that's a positive attitude because you are appreciating the experience. You don't have to enjoy the ride, but you have to appreciate it. When you start a new business, there are going to be lessons that you don't like. It is going to be like a roller coaster. Sometimes you won't even know what to grab onto. But you have to enjoy the view, you have to enjoy the ride, you have to enjoy the wind in your hair. Maybe you will hate it, but the experience is going to be worth it. And if life provides you a lesson and you are learning it from that experience and you pass the exam, you will never have to do the same mistake again. You're never going to have to go through the same thing again because you have learned. So when it comes to business mistakes, when it comes to relationship mistakes, it's the same. You are going to have to go through it. You're going to have to learn it. And the sooner you do it, the better it's going to be because you're never going to have to learn the same lesson again. I call my last 2.5, 3 months as my cocoon stage. It's the end of the journey for the caterpillar, but it's the beginning of a beautiful new life for the butterfly. So here is me, square peg, round hole, doesn't fit in anywhere, Dorina 2.0. Thank you for listening or watching. If you have anything to add, please send me a DM on Instagram. I'm probably not going to answer anywhere else. And I will see you next Wednesday in the next episode.